Hey guys, what up? Sean here, and today we're playing some Capture the Flag in Arena, which I think makes a good argument for why Capture the Flag should be played over Uplink. This is on Aquarium, and I think Aquarium's kind of been pushed out of the conversation for Hardpoint because of the underwater hill to my right. But it actually played pretty well for CTF, I think. Overall, I had fun. It's a solid, like, 3-lane map. It's a pretty decent size. I don't think, it's too big. Neither side seems to have any distinct advantages, at least from the one game I played. And this game was super fun. I kind of went off for the first round of this game. Like, I had tons of kills, and I was really doing a lot. I finished with the most kills in the game, and I have a pretty important flag pull, but I wouldn't say that the second half's as good, but I think I did a pretty solid job. And the way we end it is like last second cap, so it's pretty fun. But I really like playing Capture the Flag. However, that video was yesterday. I talked about Capture the Flag in Uplink. I think this gameplay, though, is a very good argument for why Capture the Flag just plays better in this game than Uplink. The slowisher pace allows for, stops, and I just think it's more fun. However, that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about bans, and when we talk about bans, this seems to get really contentious. Back when I started playing competitive in Modern Warfare 2, like through game battles, and then more so in Black Ops 1, and then definitely super, super hard on teams, playing tournaments and stuff in Modern Warfare 3. And so I've been around for a while, and I don't remember bans being as contentious back then. And that was probably partly because it was really a community-driven thing. The developers pretty much didn't know we existed, so there wasn't anyone to contend with. Whatever we thought we did, because we were the only ones who gave a fuck. So I understand why now it is more contentious. However, back then we banned probably too many things. Europe had different rules, definitely in Modern Warfare 3 that I recall distinctly a difference. So like in Modern Warfare 3, extended mags was banned in Europe, but we didn't ban it, in North America or the US. So we did have different rules, and at that time we kind of were less strict. I mean, Europe kind of went a little bit past where we went when it came to bans, in a lot of ways. So it's not like we've been, I think, unreasonable. I think we've just gotten rid of things that make the game less competitive. And this is a hard one to have a conversation about, because if you look at Call of Duty as a series, there's a lot of stuff people would find not competitive if you were to start right now and list off what you think makes a competitive shooter. But at the same time, we're playing Call of Duty, so it's kind of weird to take parts of the game out, because that's the game. You don't want to play that game, play a different one, would be one of the arguments you could have, because this is the game. If this isn't the game you want it to be, then don't play this game, play, Counter-Strike. But this game is unique. There is no other shooter right now that has the modes and the gameplay of Call of Duty, so it's not crazy to try to bend the game to what we want it to be. And I think we're not unreasonable in what we do, but we do bend the game a lot. And I wish the Call of Duty developers would look at it more from our perspective and less from a public, because I think public players, for the most part, don't know the difference. I've seen a lot of people that I know that don't play competitive and don't play Call of Duty, very seriously. And when they make a class, they just pick shit. It doesn't have any particular rhyme or reason. They don't think it through. They just pick stuff. And so, like, Sixth Sense, for example, I think it's a perk that needs to go in this game. And I don't have many perks that need to go. I have that and Tracker, basically. And I know that they have counters, but I think Sixth Sense is countered by Hardwire, and I think it is only sort of countered. Like, I think it says it reduces the effectiveness. It doesn't say it eliminates it, and I'm pretty sure that it still gives you an indication of where they are. And I don't think that if Sixth Sense was out of the game, a public player would know the difference. You know, like, for the most part. And I don't know... I think they'd have a hard time arguing why it should be in the game. The only argument I could see is, oh, it reduces campers because I know that they're in this room. But, you know, there's a lot of things that reduce campers, and one of those is reducing TDM. Another thing would be eliminating KD ratio from the stat page. But they're not going to do that because people would lose their shit if that happened. But, you know, I think in that sense it doesn't make as much of a difference. And we try to play it... we've tried over the last few years, you know, starting in Black Ops 2, to play it more the way it was made. But some things need to go, and Sixth Sense and Tracker are one of them, because anything that gives you an indication of where an enemy player is that isn't your damn eyes shouldn't be in the game. The only other exception to that is sound. If you can hear their footsteps, because they're not running dead silence, that's your fucking job. You do that, that's fine. But there should be no map indicator. There should be no footsteps, like, you know, red footsteps on the ground with Tracker that indicate where they are. So I think those are the two perks that need to go. And I think that just fits with a competitive philosophy and our philosophy for a long time playing Call of Duty in a competitive setting. So I think it's just, that makes sense. UAV, and in that sense counter UAV, also in that category, and I think care package should go because it can grant you things you didn't earn. Sentry, like, here's how I feel about Sentry and Guardian. I hated Guardian in Black Ops 2, and I'm so thankful we got rid of it. And I did honestly think for a long time that Sentry should also go. I think Sentries are ridiculous because you have basically a fifth player on the map. Now, Guardian, I would almost argue you could leave in this game. It doesn't bother me as much as it did in Black Ops 2. Now, if pro teams were running it and putting 4 of them at the same time, it might get a little out of control. But I think Sentry has to go. That's how I feel on Sentry. Other kill streaks, we'd have to test, you know. I don't know what the likelihood of getting some of them are, and then I don't know what happens when you do get them. I would almost prefer a system that said you have Lightning Strike, Hellstorm, and, I don't know, Rolling Thunder, and that's it. You know, these are the kill streaks that, or score streaks that are used in competitive. That's kind of how I would do it, because I think that when you get down to it, there's a lot of streaks that are going to be either just not viable because they're not likely to be gained in a competitive setting, or they're not viable because we have to ban them. And I think it's easier to just kind of pick 3 and standardize it, because part of the concern, on top of making the game boring because it's all the same, with banning stuff in competitive, is confusing public players and making it too hard to get into. So if you tell them these are the 3 score streaks, at least it's easy to understand. And there's not so much, you know, you have to, like, research about it. Now, as far as the specialists go, I think Rejack should go. I just don't see an argument for Rejack. Hive should go because shock charges and trip mines should go, so Hive should go as well because it's the same damn thing. Outside of that, I've heard, you know, I think Vision Pulse is tough. It probably should be gone, and I think Vision Pulse has to go if Treyarch doesn't implement a way to make it so that you don't passively earn your specialist. So if it was just based on kills and just based on your points that you gain through, you know, capturing the flag or planting the bomb or whatever, then I'd be okay with Vision Pulse maybe remaining in the game. But where you passively earn it, like the other day I passively earned it in Search and Destroy, and called it in, saw a guy through the wall, killed him, won the round. That's ridiculous. Like, in a 5-5 game, that could be the difference between winning and losing in Search and Destroy. So, in that sense, it has to go. I'm not as big a hater of Glitch, although we'd have to see it played out more. I think Glitch is a really cool ability to be able to use in Capture the Flag. I have seen a clip in Search and Destroy where it's kind of ridiculous looking, and I could see the argument in that sense. And again, I think that the elimination of passively earning the specialist in competitive settings would definitely benefit leaving Glitch in the game, and I think it could open up the window to leave, you know, Vision Pulse also. I think Rejack should go because shooting people twice is dumb, and I think Hive should go because Claymores, basically. We don't do Claymores, we don't do Hive. As far as LMGs go, here's how I look at LMGs. I think that the Gorgon's probably going to be not in favor in competitive. I think it's a scary weapon to use, but I think in competitive, where people are jumping up and down and going all over the place really fast with the scuff, it's not going to be... Watch this intense flag cap at the end. But it's not going to be as popular. The Dredge looks like it could be popular at the moment. I think eliminating rapid fire almost would solve that. I'm not as big of a fan of eliminating rapid fire in general. I don't think it's that toxic, but I do think, in a way, it might make the LMGs toxic. And I think that possibly eliminating that and slightly reducing either their ADS time or just the move speed, like in past games, would balance that out in a sense, and I think that could be an effective way of handling that. But, you know, these are my thoughts right now on banning things. I think we should, because I don't think, you know, some of the stuff is just not competitive, and that's just a fact of Call of Duty. I wish it wasn't in the game in general, but for now we have it, so I think we have to get rid of it, and I don't think it harms us all that much. And the ban and protect system shouldn't be used to solve these problems. It should be used to build a strategy, to design what your team wants to do in this match, not get rid of things that we would have gotten rid of in years past anyway. Because if we do it that way, then there might as well not be a ban and protect system, because we're going to ban the same fucking shit every damn game, which still might happen. Like, people might ban the M8 every game, but, you know, I'd like to see that in action before we, you know, just spend the whole time banning UAV. So, that's my thoughts on it, guys. Check out the video about CTF and uplink from the previous day, because not many people did, and by not many, I mean no one did. And I'll talk to you guys later. So, see ya.